Hello, everyone. I am doing a short video and next video in the series of how to. Today, I will be explaining the field lines, or also called the universal lines, as I got a question asking me, the field lines some more because they're really one of the most understated, most underexplained lines, okay? I want to give you an example, okay? First, I want to draw some neural lines. I will explain to you why I kind of divided the paper into 4 parts. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, is go over the roundings here, right? So the rule is we always do the rounding, okay? The rounding process is constant. Whenever we add a new line or a new shape, we always go over it and add and make sure we round all the intersection. Why? Because every new line is a new addition of kind of a neural line within our life, right? Okay, honestly, we don't have to, I'm not doing any rounding over here where the intersection by the 4 lines, because this is simply 4 different pictures, just so you understand what I'm doing. I just want to show you different kinds of field lines or universal lines, just so you guys understand what it's like. And voila. Okay, there you go. Okay, now, okay, I did a very quick rounding, honestly. My point was something else, okay? So just so you guys can understand, these are 4 different pictures, okay? That's why I didn't do any roundings over here. This is not regular intersection line. This is the frames of the picture, okay? This is where each picture begins and the next one starts, okay? So this is one picture, another one, another one, another one. I want to show you 4 different types of field lines. They're also called, you can also call them, I sometimes call them universal line, because it's very interesting trying to explain, trying to bring the concept of what field lines are, okay? So sometimes I call them universal because that's what they feel like, okay? One way to do the field lines would be, okay, let's say, I'm only going to do this picture for you guys, okay? Okay. So let's say I have this line. You know what? Not enough lines in this picture. So I will add a few more neural lines. Okay. I just want to show you the field lines. I'm not even adding the figures, the shapes, if you don't mind. I want to be able to kind of show you. Okay, so one way would be take a yellow highlighter. It has to be yellow. There's something about the color yellow, because yellow is the color of, of sun. Yellow is this universal color of energy. Yellow is the color of the sun. You can also make it orange. Orange is my next one, but yellow, there's something about yellow. I'll show you, okay? In the beginning, all my new students, actually, the first thing they taught is to do the field lines with the yellow. Why? Because yellow is the natural color of the energy. This is how the energy naturally flows, okay? And the source of energy is naturally what? That's right, the sun, the ever essent source of energy, right? This is the most natural source of energy there is, It's what the universe gives you. It's what, if you're a religious person, it's what God created for a source of energy. You get your source of energy in the sun. I mean, people who live in the north, they know what I'm talking about. When there is winter, and as much as people love winter, there's always a scarcity of the energy of the sun, and that's when most of the time people go to the south, take their vacations in the winter, because they need that warmth, that energy of the sun. Okay, you take the yellow highlighter. It's a highlighter, it's not a marker. Okay, but there's something about yellow, and you go like this. Okay, this is the field lines. I'm just going to make 2, just want to show you. Now when you make field lines, make sure you go, one time is not enough. you want to make nice field lines. Field lines are this energy lines. They're like this energy cables that are very much, high on top, above the trees, above the buildings. You don't see them. I mean, you see them, but you don't notice them in everyday life, unless you actually see them, look at them straight. You don't notice them, but they're there and they're so necessary, right? Whenever you need electricity, guess what? They're there to help you get electricity. But you're not aware of them in everyday, every minute kind of life. And you're definitely not aware of them when you use them, right? So the same thing as field line. Field lines should be like these thick lines. They should be thick, okay? They need to be thick. They need to be thicker than the regular neural lines. Look at this. Okay, voila. Look at this beautiful yellow field lines. Look how amazing. Do you notice your eyes are drawn to them? That's how it's supposed to be. Your eyes are supposed to be drawn to them because they are the source of energy, okay? They're like the source of how this regular neural lines go in and out. Now, the question was, I was also asked, I'm constantly asked about, honestly, the most amount of questions I get from my students or even like not even students, people write to me, is about field lines. And yes, you can go back originally, I want to tell you something, originally 3 years ago, when I originally started learning Neurographica, the learning was that the field lines are not necessary, especially if you use a highlighter. It's not so necessary to do the rounding where the field lines intersect with regular neural lines. Now, Neurographica is alive. It's a live method. What do I mean by a live method? It's alive every single day. Why? What do I mean by that? What I meant by that is that the founder of Neurographica, Pavel Piskaryov, constantly on, I'm going to tell you, there is, in Russian, there is a teaching of Neurographica, the basics course every month. Every month we have a new video and the live classes take place. And I want to tell you that Pavel, he, every month, he brings out something new. He brings out some new innovation, some new insights into the method. Okay, so the new insight is, if originally we used to think like new field lines should not be with the rounding, no, they need to be rounded. Now Pavel says we need to round the field lines, okay? Now, let's say, okay, I'm gonna just fix this frame right here so we're comfortable using it. Okay, let's say I'm using this picture, okay? Let's do it like this. Okay, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do. Now I'm gonna use a orange highlighter, not a marker, a highlighter. Makes a huge difference. You can do the same thing what I did. Take a paper, cut it into 4, and try different mediums for highlighter, okay? I mean, for a field line, okay? Okay, now I'm doing the diagonal field lines, okay? Voila. This is a diagonal field line. This was a vertical field line. This is the diagonal, okay? What am I doing? Again, I'm going over first to make it thicker. Okay, it's very important. Make the field lines nice and thick. They are the kind of epicenter of your energy, the epicenter of where your neural lines kind of go in and out, okay? Now, interesting thing to note, if you don't do the rounding, then they kind of stay either on top or on the bottom of the picture. They're not a part of the picture. I want you to be able to see this picture more. They're kind of not like a part of the picture, okay? And that's what I want to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over, use the orange highlighter, okay? Use this tip, the tip that comes out, okay? Go over it and just do a little rounding, kind of integrate, conjoin the, because we know that rounding, another name for rounding is conjoining, right? Conjoin the neural line with the field line. And look at this, voila. And you know what happens? This is what's interesting that changes. The field lines become this kind of like epicenter. This is like how when you look at the picture, there are neural lines, but there are also field lines and they're like kind of congest all the neural lines, and they kind of direct, that's the right word. They give directions to the neural lines. They give direction to the energy within the neural lines, okay? The next one I want to show you, okay? This one, they're small pictures. Okay, so if we take this quadrant, right? This square, this rectangle. Okay, now look at this. I'm using a regular thick, not the thin one, the thick, not the ultra fine, but the fine marker. And look, I'm going to give it horizontal field lines, okay? Okay, like this, voila. Now, the rule is when I give field lines, the field lines should not be intersecting, but if one of the field lines kind of tends to like kind of go, it's like, it reminds me of, the allegory here is as if a lake, how the lakes and the rivers, they always like kind of go into one another and out of one another, okay? It's like if you, I used to love geography, I want to tell you, that was one of my favorite subjects in school. So when it comes to lakes and rivers, they cannot exist on their own. They're all a part of a bigger body of water. For example, a sea or an ocean, okay? So the rule is the little tiny lake is a part of the river. The river is a part of a bigger body of water, is a sea, okay? The sea is a part of an ocean. Okay, they all have like this little line that connect them to each other. If you look at the map or a globe, you're gonna see like big blue, or like small tiny blues. And that's what field lines are like, They're like this connections, the huge energetic connections of all the neural lines, because the allegory here is like the neural lines are like the little body of water. All the neural lines tend to be connected to each other. And that's what it's all about, I'll be honest with you. That's what it's all about. I truly love when you add the field lines to the picture, to your almost ended picture, you start feeling this, you start getting the Zen already, this Zen feeling when the picture is finished and you're like, yes, this is what harmony is all about, right? Look at this field lines, Well, you can make them thicker. Honestly, I don't have enough neural lines. There's only 2, 3, but when it's a busy picture and you add the field lines and you make them thicker, they come out beautifully. Okay, I'm going to show you a few of my pictures. One more I want to show you when I use my favorite medium, which is oil pastels. Okay, it does work too. Okay, look at this. Let's say I'm going to do 1 and 2. Now, when you use oil pastels, guess what? Okay, now I'm going to go over it and make it thicker. Okay, because the oil pastels, that's the best part about oil pastels. They're so tactile, they're so sensory infused, and makes your drawing and your picture much more different. Now, look at this. Look at this. Can you do the rounding here? Kind of not really, because the oil pastels are usually thick, there's no fine point. You can't go on and try to like do the rounding. But guess what? When it comes to like oil pastels, you don't need to do the rounding because the oil pastels are not as concrete, right? They're more like fuzzy and they're more, they don't need to be rounded. But look at this. Does it look like a part of the picture? Yes, it does. You know why? Because the oil pastel, the nature of the oil pastel, they're so, you can easily take your finger, and I want to tell you, it depends on the paper. This is a regular printing paper. The oil pastel doesn't work as well. I have a professional drawing pad. Oh, the oil pastels work absolutely magnificent. They're much more easier to spread out using your fingers, okay? I want to tell you the finger use, oh, they're so important when it comes to Neurographica for a few reasons. And one of them would be sensory. The nerve endings at the end of the tip of your fingers are directly connected to the development of your brain. You know how that's why kids, I have over 20 years of experience working with kids, early childhood. Number one thing you do in early childhood is sensory things. Why? Because they're directly related to the development of the brain. And here comes something we call neuroplasticity, right? We use our fingers, we start, it directly connects the changes we bring through the picture to our goal, to our topic, to our theme, to our quest, as I like to call it. And it directly connects to our brain, and the changes start occurring in the brain. And we know that the reality around us changes when the brain starts seeing things different, right? When our perception changes, okay? Anyway, this is a tiny glimpse, tiny glimpse into what the field lines are. And we talk much more about it. We cover it much more, uncover it in the basics course, which will take place this coming Tuesday, December 1st, okay? December 1st, for 3 sessions. It's going to be December 1st, 3rd, and then the Sunday, December 6th, okay? The details are in my Facebook page, Lana Shalom. Welcome to come. Welcome to explore. Welcome to participate in this amazing course. And I invite you to finish the year of 2020 with a bang by becoming a certified basic user in Neurographica, by gaining this amazing necessary knowledge to start bringing the magic, the change, the innovation, and the integration into your life. Welcome. Any questions? Give me a buzz, write me questions. You can post them under the video. You can, if you're watching on Facebook, post them as a comment to the video. I'll be glad to answer them. Any questions, welcome to write to me in PM. I will send you the link. I will answer any questions. Come, join us, register. Let's join the community of neurographic artists, and let's make this world beautiful, amazing, innovative, and bang, effective. Goodbye. Happy holidays to you guys.